What's good with it, Black Goose TV family? Double salute as always. Your boy Fluence Boxing is back in the building again with some Fluence Boxing news from our family members. Look, we're talking about a very popular topic when it comes to the boxing community. Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury. Will they end up fighting before the end of the year? You had Tyson Fury call out AJ. Like, hey, you want this smoke? Come get this smoke. I'm even going to be nice with it. 60-40 split, what you want. And we ain't changing on the negotiation. That's what it is. If you really want this fight, you're going to accept it on all terms. AJ responded and said, let's get it. I ain't scared of nothing. Let's make it happen. Now, personally, my personal opinion, when I first seen it, when I first heard it, I was like, man, all this is cap. All this is bull. We already know Tyson Fury versus Usyk is the fight they're trying to make. That makes sense. That's what's probably going to be end up being the future fight because, you know, Tyson Fury himself, man, my guy retired. He retired. He said he didn't want to come back unless it was for a big bank, all these different things. It was for a certain reason. But then some things got a little weird. And this is what I mean by that, right? We had Tyson Fury out of nowhere talking about he wanted to fight Derek Chisora after saying he retired. After the Dillian White fight, he said he's done. I'm not coming back. I don't want to be back unless you're going to pay me this crazy amount of money, right? Then out of nowhere, he's talking about, yo, I want a Derek Chisora fight. The Derek Chisora is scared of me. We sent him a contract. He don't want it. Derek Chisora responded and said, I don't know what he's talking about. Tyson Fury sounds delusional. We ain't never got no contract from his team. Deontay Wilder announces his comeback. And now Tyson Fury is saying he wants AJ. Which is weird because Usyk just beat AJ and you think we'd have Tyson Fury versus Usyk, right? But Tyson Fury's been very vocal saying some very negative things about Usyk as if Usyk doesn't want to fight. Usyk has done a very great job in responding by not responding to Fury, but basically saying, which I dropped a video on that, not sure what order I'm going to be dropping it, but make sure y'all check that out. I don't want you, Fury. I want Deontay Wilder. So we got a lot of things going on right now, man. It's very interesting, man. It's very interesting. The heavyweight division is looking very lucrative. It's looking very beautiful. It's looking very, very, very entertaining. As long as you're paying attention and you're enjoying all the bullshit, I don't understand why you want it. But we're going to get into an update on the Fury versus Joshua negotiations. How realistic, how possible is this fight to happen this year? Is this all rumors? Is this all speculation? Or will we really see Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua on December 3rd, like a lot of people are projecting it to be? Now, before we get into this article, we get a specific update from Frank Warren because obviously he's going to be the guy. His quote's going to be the person, or his quote is going to be the statement that puts us all in a position where maybe we can have a better idea of what's going on when it comes to the negotiations between Fury versus Joshua. If there's really negotiation, if there's really a possibility for this fight to happen, and if we should be looking forward or hopeful for it to take place on December 3rd. Before we get into that article, make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Road to 5K before the end of the year. You feel what I'm saying? Notification gang, comment on this joint because it's all about your opinion. It's not about what I got to say. It's about what y'all got to say because we built on y'all back, Black Goose TV family. You already know. It's all love. We family up in here. You know how we get it. But let's go ahead and get into this article, man. I'm not trying to be long-winded. I'm trying to get straight to the point. So Frank Warren gives Fury versus Joshua update on negotiations. It's coming from Boxing News 24. I'm going to go right ahead, scroll my way down. We can go through that quote. I don't need to see all this other shit. I don't need to see all that. We're going straight to the quote. So here we go. We don't got much of a quote. We don't got a lot. You feel me? Got a whole lot of ads. You know what I'm saying? But we're going straight to the quote. So here it is. Make sure y'all paying attention. Make sure y'all listening. This is a strict update from Frank Warren on the possibility of this fight actually happening. The contracts are on their way, Frank Warren said to TalkSport about the Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua fight pegged for December 3rd. But I'm not going into great detail about this because we saw what happened last time around with people making statements and so forth, and it all fell apart. This fight won't be on until it's signed, but everybody wants it to happen. So hopefully very quickly we can get it over the line, but until it's signed, it's not on. I'm excited about it as a fight because I always felt that Tyson has the beating of AJ, and now we're going to find out if we get it over this particular line. So that's it. That's all we got, baby. That's the update. It's not a whole lot. It's not even a medium amount of information. It's very little. It's very small talk. And when I hear small talk like this, I really do think they're trying to make this fight happen. I really do think this is a fight they're trying to make happen because you got to think about it from Tyson Fury's perspective. He's only going to stay in the sport for a couple more fights, and it has to be specifically certain fighters that he's fighting. Obviously, he wants to fight Usyk. AJ is a fight he has to have. Deontay Wilder 4 is a fight that he has to have. Other than those 3 fights, and I'm sorry, well, Deontay Wilder 4, he doesn't have to have that fight, but that's a big money fight. So other than those 3 fighters, Deontay Wilder for the 4th fight, AJ for 1 fight, possibly 2 fights because he's probably going to have a rematch clause on both sides. And then obviously the Usyk fight, probably a rematch clause there. That's probably his last, like, that's like, okay, I got to fight these guys and I'm done. So I'm like, I do have confidence that they're trying to make the fight happen. Will it happen? I'm not sure. I will say this. I'm more confident in this fight happening than I was in Terrence Crawford versus Earl Spence happening. I wasn't confident in that fight at all happening, but reportedly that joint is almost a done deal, which I'll be dropping a video on that, and I'll be giving you guys my speculations and my pushbacks on all of it. But reportedly that's a done deal for November. I have more confidence in this fight happening because AJ's at a road right now where he lost to Usyk. That's the man on top. He had that weird loss to Andy Ruiz. Like AJ only has a certain amount of fighters left in that heavyweight division that he can fight where it can be very lucrative and can still build his legacy. Any other fights that we're talking about, if we're talking outside of an Usyk 3rd fight, which probably won't happen, a Deontay Wilder fight, a Tyson Fury fight, other than those, maybe a Dillian White fight again, other than that, maybe a Joe Joyce fight, other than that, there's really not much for him. And it's the same with Deontay Wilder. So when we talk about these big name guys, when it comes to heavyweight division, there are 2, 3, maybe 4 fights before they're out of this game, because there's only certain names that make sense to add to their legacy, or at least there's certain fights to add to their legacy. It's not about just fighting Joe Schmo, who's who. At this point, is not what makes money make sense, but what name could add to the legacy. You feel me? So I'm going to read this one more time. The contracts are on the way. Frank Warren said to Talk Sport about the Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua fight pegged for December 3rd. But I'm not going into great detail about this because we saw what happened last time around with people making statements and so forth, and it all fell apart. This fight won't be on until it's signed, but everybody wants it to happen. So hopefully very quickly we can get over the line. But until it's signed, it's not on. I'm excited about it as a fight because I always felt that Tyson has the beating of AJ. Now we're going to fight out if we get over the line. So his update is basically saying like, yo, the contracts are there, but let's not get excited. No one should get excited. No one should get, like overzealous. Let's keep calm. Let's keep cool. Let's get into the negotiations. Let's wait until the contracts are signed because technically, from what Tyson Fury said, there is no negotiations. It's a 60-40 split, December 3rd. In my backyard, that's the only option that we have. If you're not going to accept it, AJ, it is what it is. AJ's came back and said, I'm fine with any stipulation you have. Just send the contract. We'll sign it. I do think this fight happens. I do. Remember, guys, I thought Derek Chisora was Tyson Fury is going to happen before the end of the year. I was wrong, but I was right. What was I wrong about? The opponent. What was I right about? That Tyson Fury is going to take a stay busy fight before the end of the year because he does plan to fight Usyk. His stay busy fight just so happens to be AJ because it's a lot more money in it. He wanted the Derek Chisora fight, but once he saw AJ, maybe a lot of people assumed AJ might be able to beat Usyk that second fight, and they were going to have a trilogy. So that was the calls out for Tyson Fury. The calls out for Chisora from Tyson Fury. Seeing AJ lose again, it's like, well, let me get in this bag. That's my personal opinion. That's how I see it. So I do think this fight is going to happen. I'm confident in the fight happening. If it doesn't, I think he'll be fighting Derek Chisora. I think Tyson Fury is going to be fighting on that December 3rd date, no matter who the opponent is. I just think he prefers it to be AJ because, like I said, Tyson Fury versus AJ, Deontay Wilder versus Alexander Usyk. Usyk beats Wilder, Tyson Fury beats AJ. It's a much bigger fight between Usyk and Tyson Fury rather than, Tyson Fury beats Derek Chisora. Usyk, he doesn't fight anyone. He just waits around to get a Tyson Fury fight. That's going to be a big fight, but it won't be on the level of what it would be if Usyk comes over to America and beats Wilder and Fury beats AJ. We're talking about a mega fight because they're drawing in new eyeballs, new fans, Why? I ain't got to explain it to y'all. BlakGooseTV family, you already know, man. Y'all smarter than me when it comes to this shit. But had to give you guys, the update on that. What Frank Warren had to say. Not too much. Very, very, very subtle when it comes to the things he did say. But it seems like the contracts is out there. They're just waiting for everything to be signed. So that means the negotiation part, for the most part, is done. They may just, have some discrepancies about how certain splits are, etc., some adjustments to the contracts. But I see it's getting done. Or I see Tyson Fury fighting regardless. Before the end of the year. But let me know what you guys think about this particular news update when it comes to the boxing side of the game. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop your comments, drop your opinion. As always, on the Arnold Schwarzenegger side of the game, I'll be back. But with more boxing, stay blessed, not stressed. You already know what it is. Your boy